Hi everyone, this is Ellie Mae with Silhouette Secrets Plus, and I have a card cut file up on the blog today, and I wanted to show you how to assemble that. So this is what the finished card design would look like, and I'm going to show you how to put it together so that you get this neat little flip action. So what I have done is I have gone ahead, and you're going to need your scrappy tape or score tape. This is a 1/4 inch score tape, and then I have an adhesive tape runner that I'll also be using. I use the score tape to hold the pieces that are going to be moving so that it holds it into place. I have gone ahead and cut my pieces for 2 separate cards that I can show you the pieces for. So I have my card base, I have the score line in there, I have the outside and the inside inserts, my patterned piece of paper, my fold flip that we will insert, and then the coordinating pieces to that card. I have also, there's a couple ways you can do this. If you want to do a print and cut and print out a bunch of sentiments that you could stick on the front of the cards, that's one way to do it. You could also grab a couple of stamps if you have some stamps in your collection, and you could stamp right on the card piece that is cut out. Another variation of it is you could print your own pattern paper if you don't have the pattern paper that you would like and your printer does a very high quality. These are Sparkleberry ink patterns, but you can also find patterns in the Silhouette Design store as well. And you can create all kinds of different variations of this card. So it really is a very versatile card that you can create and make and have on hand for any occasion. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move a little bit of this stuff out of the way and put this card base front and center. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my card base and I'm going to fold it on the score line. I just use a dashed line as my score line in the software when I created it. Next, I'm going to take my blue square that I have. I'm going to put some tape adhesive on the back side, and I'm going to place it on the front of the card, just in the center. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to place adhesive on the other large blue rectangle and place it on the inside of the card base. So now I have an outer base and I have the inside base. The next step that we're going to do is you have this piece. You will notice when it's cut that it is not in the center. It is off to one side, and you want the shorter side on the right. You're going to take this piece. It has a faux stitching on one side, and you have 2 score lines that you can fold down. My cardstock is double-sided, so I have to decide which side to use. So you're just going to fold on that score line. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take it, the pattern piece of paper, and you have your cut line in the center. The short side is on the right. You're going to insert your slider piece into the cut line. Next, you're going to flip that over, and we're going to use our scrappy tape or score tape, and we're going to lay adhesive down on the edges. And you do not want to get this piece here stuck to the edge. So we're going to take our score tape, and I'm using this because it's really strong stuff. When you have a card that has moving parts, you want to make sure that your pieces are going to stay stuck down. If I have a card that is just flat, I will go ahead and use my tape runner. So then I'm just going to peel off the protective cover on that tape. And I have my piece, and you want to make sure that this does not get stuck down. So you just want to have it in the center and hold it together. Going to grab my base that I have, and I'm going to carefully center that in the middle of my blue rectangle. And then press that down on where the adhesive is. Next, what you're going to see is we want to line up, and I've created these faux stitched lines just like a die cut machine would. I created those by adding a dashed line in the Silhouette software so it looks like faux stitching. And I want to line up the flap with the blue so that all the faux stitching lines up together. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to flip this out, and we're going to put a piece of scrappy tape on the very edge. And then you want to make sure that this is lined up, hold that in place, and peel the protective cover off, and then lay this completely flat and smooth it down. We're going to place another piece of scrappy tape right along the spine of that score line. Peel that cover off. We're going to take our purple for this card. We're going to take that and we're going to place it right along the edge and stick that down. So what you have now is when you pull on this, it's going to flap open. You just want to make sure that the adhesive is stuck down, and you have another coordinating piece that you could stamp on, or you could grab one of your printed pieces and you could place that on your card. So I'm going to just use some tape runner there, center that in. Again, you'll notice that I have faux stitching along this one too. It's just the little things that you can add. If we flip this open, we can, what I put on, enjoy the little things. We could put a U-Rock. We could just put the colored sheet in here and you could write a note. I'm just going to do that. Or you could stamp an image in here. Either way. And then to make it easier to pull on this, what we're going to do is I just grab some ribbon, but you could take some twine as well. I'm going to grab some ribbon and I'm just going to cut off a piece. So I have my ribbon. I'm just going to fold it over and place it on the edge of my card. And I'm going to grab a stapler. I just have a little mini stapler from Close to My Heart. And I'm just going to staple that right on the end. And you could use twine, you could knot it together. However, just something that helps to make it pull easier. So then you have a little pull flap. A card that looks difficult to make, but is very simple to make. I will cut the pieces for several cards at a time. This is one where I used print and cut and I printed a digital pattern from Sparkleberry. You can see that my cut is right here. And I will just go through and assemble this one the same way. So we're going to start with our card base, and I'm just going to fold it on the score line. Going to take my white bases, use my tape runner, Place that in the center. On the outside, I'm going to open the card. Place this one on the center. On the inside. And then I'm going to close the card again. Now I have my pattern piece with the cut line. The short side is on the right. And I have my flap design. Bow stitching is over here on the right side. And I have my score lines for my spine in the center. So I'm going to flip that over and fold it down. And then I'm going to insert that into that cut line on that pattern paper. Going to flip that over and use my score tape along the 3 edges. And peel that off. So now I have my adhesive on the 3 edges. This piece is still free moving in the middle. I'm going to hold it together and flip it over. Take my card base and I'm going to place it in the center and secure that down where that tape is. I'm going to slide this back so that the stitching is lined up on the right hand side. Flip this open. And I'm going to place a piece of tape right here along the inside edge. Take that covering off. And then I'm going to hold this card piece in place where the faux stitching lines up. And I'm going to flip this over and secure it down. Then I'm going to take another piece of tape and place it right along that spine. Take the protective cover off. And I'm going to take my larger square, place it right along the edge, and press that down. And then we have our basics of our card flap. So now what I'm going to do is I have my 2 white pieces. With these 2 white pieces, I'm going to take a stamp. So this is a close to my heart stamp that I just pulled out of my stash. And I'm going to place the foam piece underneath the bit that I'm going to be stamping on. It provides a surface for the stamp to get a better stamped image on. Take my block and I'm going to just get some ink on my stamp. And I'm going to stamp that off. So now I have the outside edge. There are so many ways that you could alter this card. Make sure your ink is dry, and then you can put some adhesive on the back side. Place it on the front of your card. And here is a print and cut image that I printed off. You could also just write on the white piece of cardstock that was cut. And I'm just going to place that down in the center. So now I have this little card. I'm going to pull this out a little bit, grab another piece of the ribbon. and I'm going to fold it over. Grab my stapler and then staple that right along that faux stitch line. So then I have a little pull tab. So these cards really look difficult to make, but I want to thank Suzanne Williams and the Creative Collaboration for giving me permission to share this silhouette cut file with you. This is Suzanne's design, and she gave us a recipe in the virtual event that we were able to join in on a few weeks ago. And I just took her dimensions that she had given us and created it in the Silhouette design, in the Silhouette software, so that I could cut all the pieces. You can see that I like to cut several card pieces at the same time. Then I can just assemble them anytime I have a chance to, when I'm sitting watching a movie or anything like that. So if I feel that if I'm going to be cutting a lot of pieces for a card, I might as well make several cards while I do that. Start with one and move your pieces around in the Silhouette Studio software to cut all the little pieces for the card, and then watch this video to assemble. Such a neat little card that you could send out to someone to make their day. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for joining me.